Thank you very much. I was reading an article the other month about dominant investment themes, and it said that the dominant theme for the past decade was digitization, and you all know how well that was for the technology companies, the FANGs as they call them in the US. But the dominant theme for the next decade will be decarbonization of the planet. And the best way to invest into this theme and make money was to invest in mining companies. The mining companies that produce battery minerals, the essential critical metals to deliver that decarbonisation. So that's great news for us. And we have a couple of slides just to illustrate the point a little bit more. So this is the digitisation age, just a snapshot of statistics for Australia. And you can see the transition over that 10-year period in terms of data usage, in terms of devices that have internet connections, 500, 600% growth, and massive wealth created for those companies that play in that sector. The next decade will be the decarbonisation. The statistics easily thrown up is the EV adoption rate. So that's just one forecast of EV volumes. Over the 10 years, you can see 600 plus % increase in EVs. So that's fantastic for battery minerals producers. The underlying message here for you all is go and buy battery minerals producers and hold them for 10 years. It's going to be a very different world in 10 years. As you heard from Minister Johnson, it's not a question of if. Car manufacturers simply not produce anything other than electric vehicles. So it will be a very different space in 10 years. Start getting set. Okay, St. George, as probably most of you know, we have a fantastic nickel copper sulfide project here in Western Australia, just southwest of the Agnew-Wiluna belt, just southwest of BHP's flagship mines at Leinster and Cosmos, the Western Areas projects coming on stream. Western Areas, in fact, has a 25% free carried interest in one of the tenements at our project, the one with most of the discoveries. We've got a very rare kind of mineralisation. It's not just plain nickel. It's got nickel, copper, cobalt and platinum group metals, all at very high grades. We've done preliminary met work. We know we can produce separate nickel and copper concentrates and very high PG credits there as well, and cobalt credits. So we've got a great platform here in Western Australia to develop our project. We've made 4 discoveries, shallow discoveries across about a 5.5 kilometre strike length. Very, very big strike length. It suggests that the system should be a lot deeper than what we've discovered so far. So the discoveries start 30 metres below surface, which is ridiculously shallow. We've chased them down to about 200 metres. They do pinch and swell, so that what we've discovered so far is relatively small. The big prize is trying to find something bigger at depth. It's an intrusive mineral system, so it's very different to your komatiite extrusive systems that are the more typical WA deposit. But those systems do typically have more mineralisation at depth, so the challenge is there for us. Surface EM is the go-to tool for finding nickel sulfide deposits. They light up as very conductive bodies, but they rarely see past about 200, 300 metres beyond surface. So they've been a great tool for us to discover the shallow deposits, but they're not going to be the answer, the surface EM, for the deeper stuff. We did magnetotelluric and audio-magnetotelluric surveys last year. They mapped the intrusive system, so it showed to us that we have this intrusive mineral system going at least 1.5 kilometres to depth. So that was fantastic. It showed us it's not just granite out there beyond the shallow deposits. There are these intrusive systems. We started putting holes into this intrusive system. All holes we've put in have hit intrusive rocks. Fantastic, with weak mineralisation, so it shows that there is a big fertile intrusive mineral system. The trick was to find one with high-grade mineralisation. We've done petrography on these deeper intrusive rocks, and they're gabbronorite and leuconorite. These are exactly the rocks that host the intrusive style deposits in WA, like Nova Bollinger, Savannah and Nebo Babel. So geologically, we've got all the ingredients to find something big, and hopefully we're on the track to do that. In mid-April, we announced the MAD 199 hole, which hit roughly 11 metres of nickel sulfides from 330 metres downhole. The deepest intersection we've had so far. So fantastic. It proves the concept that there is more mineralisation at depth. And we've got some multiple conductors that were also recognised from the downhole EM in that hole. We've done our first step-out hole. It tested 125 metres below that intersection, so that was MAD 201, and it also hit some massive nickel sulfides. Not particularly thick intersection, but it does show that the mineralisation is present down plunge. We don't know how much of that 125 metre depth extent is mineralised. We obviously have to do our infill drilling, etc. But MAD 201 did show some very strong conductors up dip from that intersection, so that gives us confidence that there is more mineralisation in that area. As I said before, the mineralisation does pinch and swell, so we really need to do the infill drilling, but it's a great result and gives us a lot of confidence that there's more mineralisation here. We also rolled out a gravity survey at West End, so this is the far west part of the Cathedrals belt. The surface EM didn't work there at all because it's got conductive cover, wet clays. The gravity survey we rolled out and has highlighted a number of gravity features. So gravity distinguishes between the less dense granite host terrain and the very dense sulfide material and intrusive rocks. So some wonderful targets identified there. The big one over there in the west, as you can see, the big white blob, that could be anything. We've never tested a gravity target before, so that is either the mother lode or it's a false positive anomaly. We're drilling that right now, hole 202. We should have a result early next week, so keep watching us. In terms of scale, we're sort of quite confident, based on other major deposits in the world, that we do potentially have a possibility for something quite significant. This is a map, a graphic showing a 1-to-1 scale of other world-class deposits. So you can see Nova Bollinger there. The other deposits, Tamarack, Eagles Nest, Eagle, they're all in North America, and also Raglan in Canada. So Raglan has got one big deposit and then 140 ore bodies of different sizes, about 1.5 million tonnes of contained nickel. And you can see on a 1-to-1 basis, they could quite easily, these world-class mines, fit into our Cathedrals belt as well. We obviously haven't found anything like that just yet, but we've certainly got a fertile intrusive mineral system spanning that area, and we're onto some deeper materials, so hopefully we can prove that we've got a world-class deposit there as well. While we continue the search for this deeper mineralisation, we are trying to progress a starter mine for these shallow deposits that we've discovered. So the Stricklands deposit in particular starts 30 metres below surface. We've hit 17 metre thick mineralisation there. So it's quite intuitively open to open pit mining. We've done the resource drill out. We're now waiting for some metallurgical test results from XPS in Canada. They're leading experts on our particular style of mineralisation, the nickel, copper, cobalt and PGE, because that's what the Canadians have. We're quite confident it's all going to work. It's just a matter of the scale and seeing the economics around it. The preliminary test work we've done here in Western Australia with Strategic Metallurgy has been fantastic. 16.2% nickel grades, 30% copper grades, and wonderful credits up to 18.1 PGEs in some of the recoveries. So wonderful mineralisation, we just got to develop scale. So copper is not talked about a lot as a battery mineral, but it's very, very important to batteries and also to the EVs. We're drilling our Paterson Province project next week. This has been awaiting heritage clearance, which we got cleared last week. We've got copper and gold targets to test up there. We're right next door to Antipa and Sipa, which have joint ventures with Rio, and then Rio's Wynyard discovery is just a little bit further along as well. So great opportunity here for a standalone discovery. We did geophysics up there, gravity and aeromagnetics, and they found some very interesting geophysical signatures, which we think are very similar to what led to the discoveries on Antipa's ground and Wynyard. So very exciting opportunity for us next week. A quick corporate snapshot. We did a capital raising earlier this month, well supported by institutions and sophisticated investors from Argonaut and Canaccord. They can all see the exploration opportunity that we have, the remarkable value that can be created by exploration success. So now we're fully funded to continue that exploration and hopefully deliver that success. Our two main technical people are Dave O'Neill and Charles Wilkinson. They're here today, so if you have any technical questions, please come to our booth and ask them. Our share prices typically run similar to the nickel price, so this is a chart mapping our share price and the nickel price. Past few months the nickel price has gone up and our share price hasn't. So We think that's a bit of a value gap that we hopefully will close with more exploration success coming on. I think the market maybe got a little bit frustrated with us last year because we were drilling these deep holes. We weren't hitting the massive sulfides, but that has changed. We've got a little bit of an uptick in the share price, and hopefully we'll continue closing that gap as we continue our exploration. You all heard about the nickel price, so we're certainly believers in the upswing in the nickel market and EV batteries pushing that. Again, EV volume forecast, you've all seen some statistics already. China and Europe leading the charge. Joe Biden talking wonderful things in the US as well. So it's just going to gather pace, and it's a great thing for nickel sulfide companies like ourselves. That is a presentation. Thank you very much. We're at the booth. Come and see us later.